Welcome to the day 37th of our UGC-NET Paper I class. In today's class, we are continuing from the yesterday's class, that is communication. And in particular, today we are going to focus on the effective communication, that is verbal, non-verbal and some more things. And before getting into the class, yesterday I made one mistake, so I want to clarify it. In interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication. So I gone through the meaning of it. So I want to reiterate what I told yesterday. Intrapersonal communication means it is we are talking to our own selves. That is, மனசுக்குள்ள பேசிக்கிறது மாதிரி சொல்லுவோம்ல. So that thing which we evaluate our own choices and all those things we discuss with our minds. That is intrapersonal. Then interpersonal is communication between two people, two different individuals. That is interpersonal communication. So today we are going to move on. So before getting into here, I don't know whether I have shown this slide in the yesterday's class or not. So objectives and purpose of communication. What is the purpose here? So why should we communicate? Here, as they have mentioned, it is dynamic and always changing, that is ever changing. So the common objectives of an official communication would be either to get or give information. So this or that. So to get information or to give information, and to ask for instruction or to give instruction or advice, suggestions, then see to make request, all those things. So these are the objectives or purpose of the communication. So here they have mentioned other type also. Sometimes we communicate with the intention of complaining or warning, like we are quarreling or verbal talk, no, that anger, in anger. So, but unfortunately we do this angrily and get into arguments. So the main intention we need to develop is that we have to learn how to complain and warn others in an acceptable and constructive manner. Then what intention we are trying to convey, that would be effectively conveyed to the other person without any damage in our relationship. So that thing we have to communicate. So that is the main need of the communication. Today we want to learn, because we easily quarrel with any person who disagrees with our own comments. So that thing we have to learn. So other things, to caution, counsel, clarify, apprise, evaluate, all these objectives, they make the objectives of communication or purpose of communication because of that. So now see evaluation of communication effectiveness. So how can we are communicating with two people. So yesterday I told one example about that usage of word over in the walkie-talkie by military as well as the people in the police. So how can we ensure the effectiveness of the communication? So first is fidelity of communication. So fidelity அப்படின்னா என்னன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா, தமிழ்ல எக்ஸாக்டா போட்டீங்கன்னா, அதாவது நான் எக்ஸாக்ட்னு கூட சொல்ல முடியாது, ஒன் ஆஃப் த மீனிங் வந்து கற்பு அப்படின்னு வரும். ஸோ கற்பு தன்மை. ஸோ வென் திஸ் வேர்ட் எம்ப்ளாய்ஸ் டு த ஹியூமன்ஸ், இட் குட் பி டேர்ம்ட் அஸ் கற்பு. பட் இன் கம்யூனிகேஷன் வி கேனாட் டிரைவ் த டைரக்ட் மீனிங் ஆஃப் தட். ஸோ கற்புன்ற வார்த்தை இங்க பயன்படுத்த முடியாது. அப்ப வாட் இன் தமிழ் கற்பு சிக்னிஃபைஸ்? ஸோ தட் இஸ் த without any without any intrusion or any mix of rare things, bad things. So here also a communication should not be interfered or disturbed by any other external sources irrelevant to the communication process. So those things should not be included. Whatever message they are trying to convey, that should be delivered efficiently. That is the fidelity of communication. Next is economic. So nowadays we all have our own resources. In one of the classes I already told you, this preparation of UGC-NET class I had in mind for so many years. Yet I didn't have the very resourceful laptop or all those things. Now I bought that setup so that I am taking. Similarly, in order to make a proper communication or a very clear communication, we need some setup. So that setup should be in our own economical means. Then only we can use that technology to communicate properly. So I don't know about Abhigna ma'am, but Kodai ma'am, I think you might have seen the movie Periyar, where actor Satyaraj has acted as a Periyar. In that movie, there would be a scene where they will be sending a telegram link. I mean, a telegram in the earlier days, no, like mini messages like SMS. They will be sending telegram. At that time, there will be a sentence where he will say, "It is already tolded." But to be precise, there is no such word in English like tolded. It is said or told like that. So it is already told to you. That was the intended statement. But during that time, that movie period would be in around, I think, 60s, 70s. So that time, each letter you sent by telegram would cost you at that time 2 rupees, which is a very big amount at that time, 2 rupees or 1 rupee. So what he will say, no, instead of sending it is already told to you or discussed with you like that, he simply says it is tolded. So what he will say, the person we are trying to convey the message, they will understand what we are trying to say. For us, the cost of sending this text or sending this message is also important. So you save the cost by reducing the number of words which can be induced with some other different things. So that economy factor also very much important. Earlier days, each letter, everything they will cost, in order to say, if you have to send some letter or courier to America, it will cost around at that time itself, nearly 1,000 maybe. So, but nowadays, everything is mail. We are sitting here, though it also we are paying for the setup, like whatever desktop or laptop or we are buying, and for the internet we are paying. Still, the economy part is very much important while communicating. Next is congruence. Congruence means you can simply say it as merging. So this congruence, when in a communication, both verbal and non-verbal things should be or could be included. Then only there should be a how much congruence it is there. Nowadays, through video call, we need to see the person through the video call, their own facial expressions on those things, as well as we need to hear their voice. Here both visual and verbal, all those things are merging into one, and then it is forming as a communication. So that congruency is very much important in a communication. Next is influence. So right now I am conveying some information to you guys. How you are being influenced by that information I have provided, that is very much important. So what it is stimulated to you, the best example right now I can think of is movie trailers. Whenever your favorite hero trailer, even that is also a kind of communication. That is, we are going to release a film in certain date, so and so. So this is a demo trial. So when you watch that teaser or trailer, that urge to watch the film in theaters or excitement to it creates, that is the influence. So the intended production team has created the intended effect over you to watch the film. That is also communication. Next is relationship building. So through communication, irrespective of content or all those things, the relationship between the sender and receiver should be very much good. So it should influence, it should grow properly. So these are the evaluation factors for evaluating communication effectiveness. Next is 7 C's of communication. See, in order to if communication want to be effective, the person who are communicating should follow this 7 C's. First is completeness. So any information should be complete. If it is half or somewhat left ambiguously, that is not a proper communication. So the message to be delivered should be complete. That is completeness. Next is conciseness. So as I told the previous example, the message should be conveyed with very minimum or as much as minimum number of possible of words to be used in a statement to convey a message. So that is conciseness. Next is consideration. So I can use any word, but there are certain words could create certain effect to over the receiver. So I should consider their own their own situation and their own literacy level, all those things. So I simply, in simple words, I have to be imagine myself in their own shoes. That is consideration. I am considering, on instead of scolding a manager, okay, leave it, I am angry still, you go on, carry on your work. That kind of considering the other people emotions, feelings, that is consideration. Next is clarity. So the message should be clarity, what it needs to be delivered, that should be clarified properly. Next is concreteness. Concreteness is, I have the sender has to deliver the message very accurately. I should not go roundabout on that thing. So in a very popular example, there is a Kamba Ramayanam in Tamil. So in Kamba Ramayanam, when Hanuman visits Sita in Sri Lanka and then returns back to inform Rama, at that time what he will say is, in Tamil, the first word itself contains Sita, that is, I have seen Sita. Then only he will convey what she wants to say or whatever mishaps happened there, all those things. So that is the, you have to hit the bullseye, that is you have to hit the spot very clearly when you are trying to convey a message. So that is the concreteness. Next is courtesy. So the like I said, it is somewhat similar to consideration. I should consider the opposite people feelings as well as my own feelings. So I should deliver my own feelings clearly, but also I should not affect the opposite people feelings. So that is the courtesy. Last is correctness. So my information should be correct. I should not deliver false informations or incomplete, improper informations. So these are the 7 C's of effective communication. So any effective communication should or must compulsorily have all these C's, 7 C's. So next comes 4 S's of communication. This is somewhat similar to the 7 C's, but here shortness, simplicity, strength and sincerity. So shortness is in the previous we have seen conciseness, no, that is somewhat, so the message should be short. Next, simplicity, it is should be simple. And then the strength, how my message or the sender's message creates or invokes something in the receiver's mind. That is the strength of the message. And then sincerity, the message should be clearly display or it should project the sender's sincerity over the receiver. So these are the 4 S's of communication. Next comes verbal communication. So yesterday we have seen certain types, and among all those certain types we will be seeing very few types in the upcoming sections. So first is verbal communication. Verbal is, see the second point, it is the communication that takes place through words. So words could be any format, either oral or written. So oral means what we are speaking, the verbal conversation we are having, that is oral. Or written means we are writing in the written form or any email ID, telegram, whatever. So all those things are the verbal communication. Types of verbal communication, like I said, it is speaking, listening, reading, writing. So here the least possible concern, or it could be things as communication, is reading. Why? Because speaking, we are speaking and the other person is listening. So these both are oral, and these both are writing format. But see here, all these three we are writing, but we are reading. No, we are, even it should be it could be a book also. When I am reading a book about a book from an author who lives 10 to 50 years back, I am reading means he is communicating with me through that book. So even reading also comes under verbal communication types only. So next is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is we express messages without using words. That's all. So here we use body language, facial expressions, all those things we use. Even see here, for example, a smile shows happiness or friendliness, while frown shows sadness or disappointment. The expressions, the facial expressions, everything comes under the non-verbal communication only. So it is important because sometimes people's actions can say more than their words. So it is known as non-verbal communication. Like verbal communication, this also certain types. First is facial expressions, all those things. Next, body language, how I am either standing straight or limping, all those things. Then gestures. So simple gestures like when we, how to say that, dancing or tapping, some people will shake their leg, all those things are gestures. Next, eye contact. While communicating, I am having eye contact with the opposite person. That is, next is posture. See here, gestures is somewhat similar to posture, but gestures are the actions being done by the person, but posture is they are doing it involuntarily with or without their own knowledge. So next is touch. So blind people use their touching process to read the braille language, all those things. So these are the types of non-verbal communication. Next, now comes the intercultural communication. See, like I said yesterday, each verbal and non-verbal could fit into all other types of communication and vice versa. So even everything could come under difference also. But here, what is intercultural communication? So inter means between, cultural means shared values, norms and behaviors. So intercultural means between different cultures. The process of exchanging information between individuals or groups from different cultures. So here, even now Abhigna ma'am is her residence. She is from Andhra or Telangana. I don't know exactly. I forgot. So she is from. Her mother tongue is Telugu. And Kodai ma'am is from Tamil. Even I am from Tamil. Jatin is from I think Hindi, I suppose. So each and everyone comes from a different language speaking states or region or community or group. So each one involuntarily have our own cultural process. Even though Kodai ma'am and myself speak the same language, we differ from each different region, like different parts of the state geographically. So our own culture on or our own the cultural customs we follow might differ. So when we interact with each other, we tend to share our own cultural customs and values with others. So that's how we are interchanging our own cultures, like in differences in language, values, beliefs, customs, all those things. So even mainly I can say example about like celebrating New Year and Christmas or even cake cutting culture was mostly from the Western culture. We have adopted that thing because we enjoy it. Similarly, celebrating Diwali and Pongal in the corporate offices, those things gone adopted from our own culture. We interchange with others so that we can make it in a proper intercultural sharing information. So next is characteristics of intercultural communication. So when intercultural communication is happening, it should be made about cultural awareness. So I should not randomly blabber about anything about the other cultures without any proper awareness. Next, there compulsorily exists cultural differences. So a minimum should be the common thing we can say is the rituals followed by the same caste in different regions. The people belong to the same caste, but they are from different regions, so their customs and rituals vary with each between the each region. That itself a cultural difference. And when you exponentially increase this through geographically, this differs from state, this differs from country. So as a whole, the cultural difference increases. Next is context sensitivity. So in certain regions, certain context, we can speak freely, but in other areas we may not speak very freely about all those things, like even dressing. There are certain things which I don't want to mention here. I hope you understand that. Next, dynamic and ongoing, like the purpose of communication we mentioned, no? So dynamic means it keeps on changing. Next, ongoing, it goes on regularly, daily. Next is the important thing, there is a possibility potential for misunderstanding. So when we anda in Hindi is egg, but in Tamil anda is a big vessel where we store the water. So then ganda, that is commonly we can call it as in Hindi ganda is throat, that throat region. But in here ganda means, Tamil ganda means it is a continent. So that's how when I go to the different region, use my own words, that would differ varily. So hence there is a possibility of misunderstanding. Next, components of culture affecting communication. So what are the components, culture components that affect the communication? First is language. This is the common thing. So whenever there is a different language, there is a communication problem arises. Next is non-verbal behavior. So there are certain regions where we might misunderstand the sign language, that is non-verbal behavior. Then I can think of a Vadivel comedy example in Sura, where he will say something, then the singer in the stage, he will beat something like that. So that is the non-verbal behavior, how we perceive that, or how our non-verbal behavior is being perceived by others. So next is beliefs and values. So beliefs and values is, each people have their own beliefs and values. So each people have their own beliefs and values, so we cannot impose our own ideology on them. At the same time, they cannot impose their own ideas also. Next, here comes the perception of time. So this is somewhat tricky. So certain regions or certain people where for example in Hindu mythology or Hindu metrics of time, we have the yugas, that is Kreda, Treda, Dwapara, Kali. Now we are in Kali Yugam. So Kali Yugam, totally the one Kali Yugam comprises of 4,20,000 years, and this is a cyclic process. But scientifically, there are certain people who believe that time is a straight flow without any cycle or loop. It is more like a river. So why it is important means, time only records all the data of historical beliefs and actions. So based on the time, there are certain things are being shared. Next is power distance. This one is more about their own level, like wealth or their own position, all those things. So if I am talking with a higher authority, there is a possibility of my communication being affected. And at the same time, wealthy people and poor people, there is some difference. So these are the components of culture that affect the communication. Next comes group communication. So what is a group communication means? there are certain number of people, usually as they have given the number here, usually 3 to 15 people. It forms a small group. They share information within themselves. Like we form our UGC-NET group. No, in our group we are I think around 18 to 20 members. So we share information within ourselves so that we can do everything. Next is it involves interaction within a large group of individuals. So this is the this could be either team meetings, group discussions, or collaborative projects. So what are the main attributes? First is collaboration. They are collaborating something. Next is diverse perspectives. So like now Abhigna ma'am has shared that in this last exam, you guys come across one question from this class. So that is the diverse perspective, because since she is from one department, others are from department, you guys might not know that the same question has come there. So now you share your own different perspectives, and then at last it also helps for the decision making. So types of groups. So there are 4 types of groups. Again, like I said, these can be even subdivided, but I don't want to confuse you guys, so I have simply kept as it is. First is primary group, then secondary, then third is formal, and fourth is informal. So primary group is our own friends and family to whom we dedicate our own time and interest. That is our close bonded group. That is primary groups. Next, secondary group is the people we have interaction officially or for a namesake, like for a certain reason, like our colleagues, or when we go for a meeting in a seminar where we meet up with the people, but we don't have any strong relationship with them. That is secondary groups. Third is formal groups, which is formed for a how to say, it is being organized. When we are attending a conference or a seminar, it is a formal group for that particular topic. It is being organized. But when it comes to informal group, you are being assembled. So a group is formed for a particular purpose. The example coming to my mind right now is the Jallikattu protest. So students have gathered for the protest towards a common goal. So that is an informal group. They are voluntarily forming or induced to form towards a unified common goal. So these are the 4 different types of groups. Next, characteristics of group communication. So here first thing, interdependence. So in order to communicate with properly with each other, we have to depend on what the points, when GD, whenever we might have a GD, that is group discussion, we listen to others' points, then we carry out whatever point we have to deliver, all those things. Next, shared goals. Like I said, the whole group, that is the number of group, all the group members would have a common goal, that is to achieve a certain target. Next, norms. Norms is accepting something. So I am in a group, like even political parties. So the members of the political party, they are agreeing with the policies and motto, whichever laid by the leader of the party, they are accepting it and they are conforming to their conforming to the norms. So they are accepting it as a whole. Next, cohesion. That is the bonding. Like I am interconnected with the group people. So now when even as in the group, I can call each of you anytime so that we can communicate easily. We have somewhat a cohesion, but I cannot do the same, or even you guys cannot do the same with other people outside the group or unknown people. Next is roles. In any discussion, each individual present in the group might have their own role. So what role they are playing, that is very, very important. So am I a leader who leads the group, or am I the follower who leads one person from the group? All those things, that is the roles. So stages of group development. So whenever a group is formed, that is forming. Next is storming. See, forming is I have a collective point. Yeah, the best example we can take is always political parties. The what to say, immersion of new political parties. No, they are forming. They are being formed towards a fixed goal. Now storming happens. Storming is now a group is formed. Each one try to represent or lead the group. They are competing with each other within the group. That is storming. After certain point, norming, that is accepting to a established point. Either the leader or the motto, all those things, they are accepting it. Okay, you are my leader. So best, like again I am repeating, the best example is political party. In a political party, when a district representative or a how to say councillor, whatever the people, when a party represents for that particular ward or region a person, all other members of that party are officially accepting that, they are accepting to the norms. So that is norming. Next, performing. Now a candidate is selected. All the members of the party will work for that candidate success in the election. So they are performing it. Last is adjourning. This is somewhat like closing, but still here the main meaning refers to the calculating, the reviewing their own work and success of that performance. So that is adjourning. So these are the 5 stages of group development. So like I said, what are the roles in a group communication? First is task roles. So I am a leader, so I have to convey with the title of the group discussion. I have to put mark. I have to, whenever there is a deviation in the topic, like you take Nia Nana for example. So in Nia Nana, Gopinath, the anchor, could be said as a task role. So he is leading or he is mediating. That is the task role. Next is social and maintenance role. So this is whenever there is a group communication, certain people would be there to alleviate or elevate. Both they will do. So they are trying to compress that whatever rift happening in the group during the discussion, they will maintain an order. Last is the dysfunctional role. Actually, this particular role is not intentional. Still, there are certain cases where it will happen. So, example for this role is like the person arguing, not accepting any points laid down by their own fellow group members. All those things, these come under dysfunctional roles. So now comes the classroom communication. See, classroom communication. The communication compulsorily applies to all the whatever different communication, it is the same. Only the place and the people are changing here. So here classroom communication means the communication that is happening here, exchange of information ideas between teachers and students in a classroom environment. So here it could be, like I said previously, verbal, non-verbal, all could be interchangeable. So this includes classroom communication, includes verbal, non-verbal, written and visual forms of communication. So verbal is we are orally speaking. Non-verbal is my hand gestures. While whenever taking class, I might move my hands, all those things. Next is written. So this written could be, here we can take example as books. Already books are that is also considered as written. So printed books and then visual forms. Now we are using PPT, PPT or demo videos. All these are visual forms of communication. So these 4 things serves the purpose of teaching, learning and assessment. So it is intentional, that is they are doing it for intentionally. When I am preparing a slide, I am keeping this slide, I am keeping this content intentionally so that I want to convey that particular information to you. Next is goal oriented. So what is our ultimate goal through this class? We have to gain a outline knowledge about communication. That too in particular effective communication. So why do we want to learn about that? So that when we are applying it on our daily day-to-day life, we might perform better, as well as our main purpose here for the class is UGC-NET exam paper 1. So I want to learn about communication effectively, and then I want to apply the knowledge which I have grasped here in the examination. So that is the goal oriented. Next is pedagogical in nature. That is the teaching style that growth happens now. That is the pedagogical. So objectives of classroom communication. So these are the objectives. First is transmission of knowledge. So we are transferring our knowledge with the students. Next is facilitation of learning. I am helping or engaging the learners. Right now you guys. So I am helping you to grasp the information or gather the information on a particular topic. Next, encouragement of interaction. So when I am going on in a certain pace, I am encouraging you guys to interrupt me in midst of the class, so that our interaction should not like dull. It should not be dulled down. So that is the encouragement of interaction. Next is development of critical thinking. As I said earlier, no, whenever a question are presented in the classroom, I told you guys to eliminate the options. So I am helping you guys to increase your critical thinking in this particular aspect. Next is feedback and assessment. So you guys are giving me a feedback, and then as well as I am also giving you a feedback by assessing you guys. Last is the creating an inclusive learning environment. So whenever a class is there, no student should be omitted for teaching, from the teaching. That is the inclusive learning environment. And here another thing, this inclusive word defines also that a class might have different number of boys and girls. So one should not be omitted by gender. Next, they could come from different religion and caste. So they should not be bothered or omitted by based on that. And then some blind people, deaf people, they might also be there. They should not be also omitted. So hence we are creating a very inclusive, by including all the members, we are creating an inclusive learning environment. So next, types of classroom communication. Like I said, no. So verbal, non-verbal, visual, multimodal. So verbal is we are using words either by books, notes, even orally also. Non-verbal is my hand movements and all the signals I am using. Next is visual, the PPTs, all those things. Multimodal is one way or another way, it is comprising all these three also. So I am using multimodal, computers, videos, all those things. No, that is a multimodal. And modes of classroom communication. One way. So one way communication classroom is recorded videos. You cannot interact with the teacher. Recorded videos give you a information or communicate with you one way only. Next is two-way communication, that is interactive. That even our own class also could be said as two-way. We are interacting with each other. And then multilateral. It should be using variety of things to engage the students and teachers effectively. Last is online or blended. So our class itself an online class. We are integrating whatever possible features available to increase the effectiveness of class. So these are the modes of communication. So that's all for today's class. So here bibliography. So that's all. Thank you.